And really, we're just more or less challenging ourselves to find other things that people don't expect us to find.
For 15 years, Mike Wolfe was America's favorite treasure hunter. Every week, millions of people watched him pull forgotten motorcycles out of crumbling barns, haggle with elderly farmers over rusted signs, and turn other people's junk into something worth keeping. He was charming. He was relatable. He seemed like exactly what he appeared to be. But do you know what was really going on behind the cameras? Behind the easy smile and the dusty pickups was a man whose personal life looked nothing like the story he was telling on camera. And the more you look, the harder it is to ignore. A marriage that lasted 18 years before it even started, and then fell apart in silence. A co-host pushed off his own show. A friend left behind. This is the story of who Mike Wolfe really was, and the life he kept hidden while America was watching. Let's get into it. The boy who picked Mike Wolfe was born on June 11, 1964, in Joliet, Illinois. The kind of Midwestern childhood that produced exactly the man he would become. He was 4 years old when he found his first treasure, a bicycle, rusted, forgotten, sitting in a neighbor's yard. He dragged it home, cleaned it up, and sold it. The farmer who originally owned it offered him $50 for the same bike after Mike had restored it. Mike sold it for $5,000. He was a child. And he already understood something most adults never do. Value is not fixed. It is hidden, and it belongs to whoever is willing to look hard enough. That instinct never left him. Through his teens, he was picking through barns, garages, and junkyards across Iowa, not as a hobby, but with the single-mindedness of someone who had already decided what his life was going to be. He wasn't collecting junk. He was building a philosophy. It was during these years that Frank Fritz entered the picture. They spent their teenage years and early 20s hitting the same barns, attending the same swap meets, building the same mental catalog of who had what and where it was sitting. By the time Mike reached his late 20s, he had accumulated enough inventory, enough knowledge, and enough confidence in his own eye to stop selling to other people's shops and start his own. In 2000, he opened Antique Archaeology in LeClaire, Iowa, a shop that became something of a destination, a physical expression of everything he believed about forgotten objects and the stories they carry. A second location followed in Nashville, Tennessee, and in 2010, the Discovery Channel noticed that. American Pickers premiered on January 18, 2010. Mike and his childhood friend Frank Fritz crisscrossing the country in a van, knocking on strangers' doors, hunting for pieces that didn't belong in antique malls. The show was an immediate hit. By its second season, it was drawing over 5 million viewers per episode. Mike Wolfe was famous, and for the first time, the rest of his life was about to become visible. 18 years of waiting. While Mike was building his public persona, there was a woman at home who had been there long before any of it. Jody Fayeth met Mike in 1994. A mutual friend made the introduction. Mike was nobody then, a picker from Iowa with a shop and a dream, not a television star. Jody fell for that version of him, the one without the cameras and the fame, and she stayed. For 18 years, she stayed. They were not married, they were a couple, serious, committed, building a life together, but Mike did not propose. Jody waited 18 years for the ring. Fans who later learned this detail found it quietly unsettling. A man who could spot the value in a rusted tin sign from 30 feet away, somehow unable to fully commit to the woman who had been beside him for nearly 2 decades. In January 2012, their daughter Charlie was born with a cleft lip and cleft palate, a diagnosis that brought the family together and quietly changed them both. They eventually partnered with Operation Smile, a nonprofit dedicated to providing treatment to children with the same condition worldwide. In September 2012, 8 months after Charlie's birth, Mike and Jody finally married. Although the marriage lasted 9 years on paper, the cracks had started forming much earlier than that. In 2013, Jody was diagnosed with stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Mike was publicly supportive, vocal about her strength on social media and by her side through treatment. She was declared cancer-free in May 2014. In May 2020, he posted a since-deleted photograph of Jody and Charlie, captioned simply, "6 years cancer-free today, #PowerMama." 1 month later, they separated, and nobody watching Mike's show had any idea. The quiet collapse. June 2020. The separation was not announced. It was not discussed on camera. American Pickers continued filming. Mike continued picking. The show went on exactly as it always had, cheerful, uncomplicated. A man and his van on the open road. In November 2020, Jody filed for divorce. The grounds: irreconcilable differences. The filing stated they were unable to successfully live together and that all hopes of reconciliation are exhausted. By December 2021, it was finalized. The settlement was significant. Jody got with the Nashville home and the North Carolina property. On top of that, Mike paid out $5.2 million for the equitable division of their marital estate, along with $634,000 in alimony. Even a percentage of the royalties for the first 10 seasons of American Pickers went to Jody. And when it came to Charlie, Jody got primary custody, 230.5 days per year, and $2,100 per month in child support. Mike said almost nothing publicly. He posted about his daughter on Father's Day. He kept picking. The cameras kept rolling, and life went on. But something had shifted in the show's own story, and it had nothing to do with Mike's marriage. Frank Fritz, Mike's co-host and childhood friend, had been quietly disappearing from episodes. Fewer appearances, less screen time. Then, in 2021, the History Channel confirmed what viewers had already suspected. Frank had been fired. And what came out next was far messier than anyone expected. Frank's exit. Frank Fritz had been on American Pickers since the first episode. He and Mike had grown up together in Iowa, genuine friends long before the cameras arrived, which was part of what made the show feel real. Their dynamic was natural because it was two men who had been doing exactly this, together, for decades before anyone put a camera on it. When Frank left the American Pickers, the official explanation was that it was due to a back surgery, that he was taking time off, and it was a mutual decision. But what came out afterwards told a different story. Frank gave an interview to The Sun in which he said Mike had not reached out to him during his time away from the show. "I haven't talked to Mike in 2 years. He didn't reach out to me." He also acknowledged struggles with alcohol and Crohn's disease that had affected his ability to work. In July 2022, Frank suffered a severe stroke. He was found unresponsive at his home and hospitalized. He survived, but his recovery was long and difficult. Mike's public response was careful, measured, a statement expressing support, no personal visit documented publicly, no on-camera acknowledgement that went beyond the surface. Fans who had watched these two men pick barns together for a decade found the silence and indifference very difficult to reconcile with the friendship they thought they had been watching. In September 2023, Frank Fritz died. He was 60 years old. Mike posted a tribute. It was warm, it was gracious, but for many viewers, it came too late. And that brings us to where things stand today. What the cameras missed. In 2026, American Pickers is still airing. The ratings are a fraction of what they were at the show's peak. The audience that made Mike Wolfe a household name had been quietly drifting away. And it was all because what made the show special in the first place was the friendship and the sense that these two men genuinely belonged on the road together. Once Frank was gone, that was gone too, and no amount of new picks could replace it. Mike has moved on personally. He is now in a relationship with Letitia Klein, a model, actress, and fellow motorcycle enthusiast who appeared alongside him in the 2025 film Day of Reckoning. "We both are very busy people," Klein has said, "so it works well for us." The antique archaeology stores remain open. Mike's net worth is estimated at around $7 million. His daughter Charlie, now 14, appears occasionally on his social media. a rare softness in a public persona that has otherwise grown more guarded over the years. What the show never fully captured, and what the past several years have made impossible to ignore, is the distance between the man on screen and the man off it. The television version of Mike Wolfe was generous, instinctive, driven by a genuine love of things other people threw away. That version was probably true as far as it went. But the version that waited 18 years to propose, that went silent when his co-host disappeared, that separated from his wife the same month he was publicly celebrating her survival, that version was never part of the pick. And that is the version nobody got to see. Mike Wolfe built a career on the idea that the most valuable things are the ones people overlook. And ironically, he overlooked some of the most important things in his own life. The gap between his on-camera image and the reality is hard to ignore. And now that it is visible, it is impossible to unsee. So what do you think about Mike Wolfe after knowing all this? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it thumbs and subscribe for more amazing stories like this one.